Hello everyone, this is Xander Chiron, and I am back with Wargame Red Dragon. Now, no Epic Flail today, because I have a different video that I'm doing. And this is actually going to lead into Epic Flail, but anyways. So, Epic Flail episode 200 is fast approaching. And I have decided that I'm going to, words fail me, do something a bit different for Epic Flail episode 2. I'm not very good at wording this. Basically, my plan is I'm going to try and play Baltic Front, but not do it in a cancerous manner. So I'm not going to use, see how, Baltic Front is without using a lot of the, the overperforming, really cancerous units. So let's create a new deck. Oh, what do I want to call this deck? Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Chemo Baltic. I'm applying some chemotherapy to Baltic. Baltic Front. Alright. So here we go. Our logistics tab. Honestly, nothing really particularly stand out here. How does the Copa compare to a UAZ? It's a little bit, well, it's a bit faster, much worse autonomy. So that's whatever. Aside from that, I don't know, where is it? Yeah. These guys, Command Infantry and the Mi-17. That's a whatever sort of deal. And yeah, nothing particularly special about the 15-point truck, so that's whatever. Infantry, this is where you start getting into things that may or may not be cancerous. Debate. So I like to use Cart and Yakari myself, so let's take a look at those guys if I don't scroll past them by a large margin. I think, yeah, there you go, Cart and Yakari. And let's see. What is, I don't know. I've seen some people say that these guys are cancerous or overpowered. Other people disagree with that statement. I've used them a bit. They're not bad. They're just okay, I guess. They're a 15-man shock unit with an M72A4 law, so they get to be 25 points instead of 30. So yeah, that's definitely an argument there. But then again, you also have the Sky Trikota, 90 or whatever they are, the Russian Marines. And they're also 25 points with the RPG-7V, which is 17 AP, 45% accuracy, 700 meter range, but 10 rounds a minute. So it's, I guess you could say it's roughly equivalent to an M72A4. It's maybe a bit better outside of force, but not as good in a force. So that's definitely an argument to be made there. But I personally don't feel that these guys are too bad. So I guess I'll go with that. What else we got? That's just clear away some of the junk. No, it's, yeah, rifle. So, Yakari 90. These guys are bullshit. Jaeger and Gevarman 90 pay 5 points for having the privilege of 16 AP plus better than average machine gun. Why don't Yakari 90? So, Yakari 90, right out. So that means I'm sticking with regular Yakari, but I'm not going to quite get to that yet, because we also have Panzer Yakari. These guys are kind of, That's really all I have to say about their guys, mostly because, yeah, the Reika, whatever that's pronounced, Reika. Panzer Yakari, Apalas, it's not the most powerful reloadable in the game. I'd say the Law 80s maybe a bit more powerful, but I think the Law 80 has one less AP power and just has like a bit more accuracy, so I guess it's debatable. But they're fairly equivalent, but the thing is, Law 80's only in, only the British get that, while the Apalas is kind of being filtered out a bit, to Finland and to Yugoslavia, and some people aren't happy with that. Not to mention BMP1, 10 points versus the East German one, which is 15. It's a bit out there. We also have these guys. These are it's Polish. No, okay, because these are they're the flying Motschützen. They're basically these guys are the Polish version of Motschützen. That's basically what they are. And yes, so definitely these guys are just Polish line infantry. So let's see. So I can get the base guys in the wheels. That way I have some fast wheeled shock. As well, I can go Panzerkari. Options that. I don't know if I'm going to be using the KT in my infantry tab whatsoever, because KT is just kind of, stupid. That being said, what are my options? I can get these guys in the BTR 50. That's whatever. BTR 50 is not particularly good 5-pointer. It's not the worst 5-pointer, but it's not that good either. It's just there's that. Who are these guys? Are these those are the Polish Marines. Oh yeah, and they have a 90 version with the RPG-7B. Okay. And then Yakari. What do I want to do with my Yakari? Well, I guess these guys are wheeled, so I guess they will go track Yakari. Base Yakari, of course. With their funny hats. So the base M72. So now they're just kind of roughly equivalent to, say, something like Dragoner or Gevarman 75, M72 Law with a better than average machine gun. Though they don't benefit from having a battle rifle. Or battle rifle's still good for forest fights, I can't remember. I haven't been paying too much attention to that. Fire sport. Let's see, we have these guys. Or we could go with these guys. That's the same one, these guys. Don't really think I'm going to with either of those. Engineers, not really into that. Commando, no, I'm good. Anti-tank, here we go. Let's see, this thing. Spike, it's stupid. It's annoying, it's obnoxious to deal with. That's really what there is to say about it. So yeah, screw it. I'm not going with it. Instead, let's see, I have Conkers. Hey, Conkers are a thing. And you know, I'll get in a Musti. There we go. Actually, it's up at that. There we go. So it's not particularly great, but hey, it's a thing, I guess. Looks so stupid. Support. Oh, support. Let's see what there is to look at. Mortar. At this thing, 160mm mortar. That's a bit silly. This guy's whatever. It's the same one that like East Germany gets. Aside from that, let's see. We get howitzers. Now here's the interesting one. This guy. Let's see. You see, it's available in mechanized and actually has. It's basically, if I recall correctly, it's like a 10-15 second artillery piece, which are not normally available in mechanized, which is a bit silly, but I'm not bringing that regardless. Air defense gun. Oh, we have the marksman, which is it's a marksman. That's really all it is. It's not a horrible system. And that's probably one of the better chassis because it has the decent armor, but also has decent autonomy. It has better armor than the Canadian Centurion marksman, but also has better speed and autonomy, which is nice. So it's not a bad thing. Yeah, so you have the Sergei mod, which is it's all right. Sopel. Sopel's pretty great. I do love me some Sopel. Or I can get this guy. Some Strellas on it. Guess I could do that. Don't know, it's kind of redundant. So maybe I'll drop the marksman. Missiles. Okay, here's where things get fun. IQ 96, pretty great. This is the same. It's a different missile because it's a Buck versus a Neva, I do believe. Or no. Same basic system. Or same stats. Though this thing is pathetically slow. I could go with this guy. It's kind of expensive, but hey, it's a thing. But also, there's also, let's not forget the ITO 90. It's not prototype, and it's a Crotal NG, so it's basically a better version of what France gets in terms of practical applications. I think the difference is it has better accuracy and maybe better range against planes. I'd have to check that. That's really about it. The other big difference is twice as many missiles. So that's basically you're paying an extra 25 points for twice the number of missiles and slightly better accuracy. I don't really do I consider this unit to be cancerous? Hard to say. I'd say it's not really cancerous. Like, it's maybe a bit silly that France doesn't get the Crotal NG while, Finland does, even though it's, both of them have it in time frame. So that's a bit of a piss off right there, but in terms of performance, it's not really amazing just because it does pay for that performance. It's like the ADAS. ADAS is a great anti-helicopter piece, but it's also really expensive. So I don't really think it's that bad of a unit. It can be very, because, that's also one of the other annoying things in the game is the proliferation of high-end non-radar AA. That is a bit of an issue. So I'll go with that. Also have the OSAs, which is also something to consider. These guys can be quite handy. Yeah, because I guess you can't, I guess really you can't say that is that Baltic Front does have a good choice for missile-based AA. And the thing is, yeah, ITO 90 is just very useful because of the fact that it's a good anti-helicopter piece. Or I guess what maybe I could do is do the classic OSA combination. Or maybe don't need the base OSA. Here's what I'll go. That and this and that. That's what I'll go with for my support. Tanks. Okay. Finmod. It's a thing. It's really not that great of a super heavy, though. It's just okay, I guess you could say. Like, its accuracy's fine. It has 9 rounds a minute. It's a good combination. 4 HE, so it's... But it just has, stabs aren't particularly good neither. Its armor's not horrible, but it's not spectacular. It's 165 point super heavy. It's just pretty blah. That's really the best way to put it. It's blah. It's a bit of a silly prototype. It's just one of those debatable things, I guess, because it's not something Finland ever had in real life, per se, but it's also something that they were working on in time frame, so it's debatable. Let's see. Twardy's fun. M2 Wilk is fun. And M1 Wilk is also fun. Charioteers are popular for spamming as fire support, which makes sense because they have decent armor for the price. Guns good enough, I guess. It's not enough to one-shot a one-armor vehicle, though, so that's something you want to consider. The T-55AM2 Murata is also pretty good. I also do have the T-72 M1 PAIV, PAV, whatever the hell that stands for. And it is basically has the same gun as the Finn mod, but it just has much worse armor. So it's a bit of a, it's kind of almost a min-max because you're getting that really, pretty good gun for the price. Actually, pretty fantastic gun for the price, but with lacking armor. Compare it to say something like the M2 Wilk, which is something that's generally considered to lack armor compared for its price, and yeah. Or I guess you could also compare it to a T-72S, which without the sphere would probably be a 120-ish point tank, 115, 120 point tank. And yeah, you're getting a much better gun with just worse armor. So it's, I don't know, because I myself never been particularly fond of this. I know a lot of people like it, and they get good use out of it. But it's just, especially because you can get like a sort of critical mass of them built up. And for 120 points, it's not the most expensive thing, so you can, on occasion, buy one, keep them, maybe use them terraceting, but don't really commit them to a fight. That way you can preserve them and keep them from dying, because 14 frontal armor, they're kind of fragile. It's the same with 2 top armor being the other big thing that makes them kind of fragile. Once you get like a few of these things, like 3 or so, then you can just roll over the enemy's tanks because they just wipe out enemy tanks because they have such a good gun. But I say I've never been particularly fond of them, so I guess I'll stick with this for my tank tab for now. Recon, alright. Well, yes, first things first, helicopters are fun. I like to go with the Salamander. It's a bit expensive, doesn't carry a lot of ordnance, but I like it. It can be handy. Let's see, Recon Infantry, alright, so we got Formosa, which I'm not particularly fond of basically anti-infantry special forces because, oh no, what's that? A 5-point metal box with 2 armor. Oh no, what am I going to do? That's what these, that's basically what these guys come down to. Ulrico. Yeah, a combination of Igla being a decent, pretty decent manpad. Not the best manpad, but still pretty good, for 55% accuracy, 2450 range. 4 HE is kind of, 4 versus 5 HE, it is a bit of a discussion there, but more debate. 5 HE is obviously better, but 4 HE gets the job done, especially because you're not trying to use these guys to shoot down planes, and they're good enough, they'll two-shot almost any helicopter you're likely to come across. The only exception is going to be, most likely a Hind. Mi-24, 25, 35, various flavors of that. 10 HP helicopters, those are the ones you most likely run into. But even then, you're not relying on these guys by themselves. You use them to infiltrate. But there's also the one of the other standout recon units, and that's going to be the T-55M. It is not prototype, and it's a bit silly. Has, I think, about the same accuracy as, say, the Dutch Recon Leopard, but with 1 more AP and more armor. Just has lower rate of fire, 8 versus 10, I think, on the Dutch one. And you can also argue, the Dutch Recon Leopard is a bit out there as well in terms of performance. It's also so this one's, it's an interesting thing because it's not the most. I'd say it's against the Dutch Recon Leopard. It's balanced, and probably against the Chinese Recon tank, the ZTQ-62G or 65G, whatever. It's relatively balanced against those, and they never did fix the messed up animation on the gun. If you pay attention to that, yep. But yeah, it's just the problem with the Recon tanks is, I would say the M84AN, which is just a complete outlier. The 3 medium Recon tanks are sort of balanced against each other for the most part, I'd say. But it's just the problem is that not everybody has a medium Recon tank. That's what it comes down to, and that's where you have the disparity and balance there. being said, I kind of skipped over some things, namely because I didn't really pick my recon infantry. So what can I do? I can get some sissy. And you know what? I'd say I'd skipped out the XA185 KT in the infantry section, but you know what? On say recon infantry, I think it's a perfectly fine choice to have. You know, I don't think it's that cancerous because you're never going to be deploying a large amount of these guys. And maybe that's KT. Maybe it should just be a recon exclusive transport. Maybe it should just be made into a recon vehicle. That could be interesting as well. So long as it's priced properly, of course. But yeah. So I guess I'll grab that. Also do have these guys, but I'd say it's kind of a toss-up, really. The marksman rifles on infantry generally are pretty lackluster. Though the fact this guy has 16 or 18 AP is pretty handy. To add them in the KTs and maybe get them in, I don't know, I'd say 180. Or maybe another KT, I don't know. Any transports here I'd really want to get? No. Mi-24D could be handy, but I could do it like that, upfit them. That way these guys get decent performance out of... Mi-24D gets decent performance, and I'm never really going to be playing that many of these. They're useful in like opening land grabs, because Mi-24s are fast, but... that's about it. Now for the rest of my recon, BMP-1KT, this is a prototype. The big thing is it does have the Bushmaster 2 in it. You also have this guy, which has a Conquerors. There's other choices, of course. Maybe I'll grab these guys. No, just in the spirit of maybe avoiding the units that are a bit on the obnoxious side. I'll stay away from the T-55 MP on PSV. However, I will touch on this later because I'm going to be posting this video a little bit before I actually start playing this deck in ranked. I'm going to put this on YouTube. I'm going to, ask your guys' opinion. What do you think about this deck? Have I, any units I think that maybe I shouldn't have gone with or should have gone with? This unit's, I actually picked a cancerous unit, so maybe don't do that. But this unit that you said was maybe a bit cancerous, or you should avoid it. It's fine. Yeah, that's what you guys think. I'm definitely asking you guys. So putting this up instead of an epic flail, so you guys, can get your opinion in there. So not a full-on community deck, but definitely get your opinion. That being said, that I would like to have a real. I guess having these guys in the X75 KT does count as real recon, sort of. Aside from that, Jet Ranger. No, thank you. How about Eloet? Very slow. Yeah, that's not a problem. That just all my recon helicopter options are very slow. Salamander is not particularly fast either, but it's faster. And has some ordnance on it as well. Not a huge amount though. 20 rockets and 4 Kokon M's is not really enough to do a whole lot, but it's enough to harass or cause the enemy some, cause them some issues. So have that. Kind of running out of points at this point. I never really used this, so I couldn't tell you how well it performs. I hear it's actually not bad. The MP-1KT, I said, this one's not the worst. I have to compare it. I think it's a 5 points more than a Sneska. Is a Sneska 30 points, or is it 35 as well? Because this one's basically a BMP-1 with a Bushmaster 2 and an NSVT, which can be pretty handy. I'll go with this one. Yeah, because basically it has a better autocannon, or I believe it has a better autocannon than the Sneska, but just has worse armor. So I guess you can argue whether or not that balances out. I think it's 5 points more expensive. I have to double check. I think the Sneska is also 35. Vehicles. Not really a whole lot of worthwhile choices in my opinion. Really, I'm just grabbing the ASU-85M so I can have some flank security of some description, I guess. You know, just something cheap, or you can, I don't know, grab the Vigilant. I love terrible ATGM vehicles as much as the next person. Alright, Tow 2. Yeah, that is U-57 too. It's just kind of underwhelming. Just because it's such short burst length. But actually, yeah, I guess I'll try it. Give it a try. Might as well. Or, sure, why not? Helicopter. Oh, well. Gonna grab the Sokol. Let's see, we also have the KT. I'm also running out of points, so I might have to go and delete something, maybe. Delete something on recall, maybe drop these guys. Anyways, I was saying, so I have the Sokol. And then the KT. There's that. For gunships, well, Mi-24W is not bad. It's 85 points. The 57mm rockets are just kind of underwhelming, but they could be useful. But I already have the Sokol and the KT, so I'll stick away from the. Or actually, KT. That's actually kind of cancerous, to be honest. Has a lot of rockets, which is whatever. 40 rockets, not a huge amount, but the guns on it are just kind of excessive, I think. So yeah, KT gone, 24W in. Because yeah, the guns are a bit much, I think. They're not like horribly broken like some people think. Some people think they're horribly. I just think they're just kind of. It's a bit much, really. Air power, okay. So, what do you start with? ASF. Now, Baltic Front is blessed to have the fact that it has two mid-range ASFs to choose from. They have a popular Meme 29. Or you have the MiG-2913S. I like how the finish runs faster. But yeah, not going with this one. This one is stupid. It is very stupid, so I'm going to go with, you know what? The Polish MiG-29 is a perfectly good mid-tier ASF. It is very good. Sure, it's not as fast as, say, something like a CF-188 or Tornado F3, other other planes. ASFs are equivalent to it in price, but it's, 900, it's good enough. There's going to be some situations where, the 900, 1,000 versus 900 kilometers is going to keep like an evacing enemy plane just outside of range. But considering the fact it does have, the longer range R27R Vempel with 60% accuracy means it's still pretty good. Like, it's a great ASF. And aside from that, that's just Seed Su-22 M4P perfectly fine. It's not the greatest, but it's okay enough. Eastern one's better just because it's better words family. It's a little bit less expensive, and since it has some SRAMs on it, it gets better veterancy. So which means it's just a bit more reliable. Former points. I'd like to grab the Sierra 30 so I have some tank removal, but I also don't want to have two Su-22 M4s right next to each other so I don't get confused, because that is something I'm prone to doing. So, go to Recon, and say adios to these guys. That gives me an extra 4 points, so drop that. That means I can afford a bomber. As for bomber choices, this napalm, I'm not really fond of napalm. Never use this guy, it's probably a bad idea. Same goes for this guy. Avia 28. I myself don't really find the Avia 28 to be that bad. It's for me, it's just like it's a B5 with a smaller bomb. That's really what it comes down to. And and much like the B5, if you don't have, against an opponent doesn't have much of an air defense network, yeah, this thing can be absolutely brutal. But against an enemy with any sort of air defense network, it just falls apart. Like I've had, I think, my last few, my battles with Landjet recently have definitely proven that Avia 28s can be, I've proven both ways. Avia 28s can be really annoying, but they also prove that, once you have some sort of air defense network, these guys, you might not be able to stop them from getting their bomb away, which is, like, you know, that's very much a given. If you don't have an ASF, you can be very difficult to stop them. But with an ASF, or that's it's a situational unit. It's kind of like the Chinese was a J7H or whatever, the plane that has the 1,000-kilogram bomb on it. If the enemy doesn't have much of an air defense network, yeah, that thing is the most annoying unit ever. But once you have an air defense network, it has 0 ECM. It dies. This one just gets the benefit of flying really high with 15 HP. Oh man, I'm doing too much talking apparently. Oh yeah, there's also, you know, the Hawk 51, which is fucking bullshit. Pardon my language, but yeah. Just go and compare this to the Canadian CF-116 Freedom Fighter. Now, go and do it. And ask yourself, what the fuck? Eugen, please. That being said, Syria 30. Oops. Or I could go with this one. Oh, no, Syria 30s, whatever. It's a good enough. And, you know, ATGM plane. Missiles are pretty bog standard. 30 AP missile. ECM's a bit lacking. Speed's a bit, turn rate is not good, but it's good enough. It gets the job done. And yeah, that's my plane tab. And that is that's my Chemo Baltic. Maybe I should do Chemode Baltic. I don't know, change the name to that. And, yeah. And this is where I put it out to you. So here's the deck I'm going to be using starting in Epic Flail episode 200. What is your opinion? No. Do you think I'm actually, I'm actually bringing some kind of cancerous units or unit combinations, that are unique to Baltic, not just something that's in the game already that's kind of a bullshit combination that's existed before Baltic? Or do you think that it's, what I'm doing here is, it's whatever, it's fine? What is your opinion on it? Is there a unit that you think is fine that I could bring that I said, like I said before? I said it's maybe a bit suspect, but you think it's fine, and vice versa. Something I said, it's fine, but you think is not fine. What is your opinion? That is all I'm asking. That's what I'm asking for. What do you think about it? And yeah, I'm Xander Turon, and this was trying to take the cancer out of Baltic, I guess. And yeah, you guys have a lovely day.